guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a sous vide steak. So the first step in your steak is you grab it from the butcher. I've got this picked up after work here. I'm just going to unwrap it. I picked up a boneless ribeye steak. It's about 1.5 to 2 inches. And the thickness is actually rather important in what we're doing in this method. The reason will become more apparent later. So we've got right here is they're about 1.5 inches thick. And all we're really going to do is going to take some coarse sea salt, so kind of like this, roughly in size, and we're just going to spread it over the steak. So we'll get the first top side, give it a little rub in, flip the steak over, rub it in on this side as well. Now what I've found is that when you salt a steak, you should generally do it right before you cook it or the night before. Seeing as I want to eat now, I want to go ahead and salt the steak directly before cooking. So I've got the steak salted. And what I'm going to do now is crush some fresh ground pepper on top. Flip it over, do the same on the other side. And just go ahead and rub it in again. So this is roughly what it's going to look like. Take notice of the density of the salt and the pepper on the surface of the steak right here. Alright, so after we've got our steak salted and peppered, we're going to package it. So let me set this aside. And I'm going to grab my vacuum sealer. Now what this does is basically it allows me to package my steak in an airproof container that'll allow me to sous vide it later. So got my plastic bag here, and I'm just going to place the steak inside. Alright, I'm going to put it inside the vacuum sealer. And go ahead and seal it up. You'll see the vacuum pulling and sealing it up quite nicely, grabbing it on the sides. So now we are sealing the meat. I'm just going to do a second seal to ensure that if anything fails, it's still airtight. If you'll notice on the bottom here, there's actually 2 seals as well. Alright, so this is what you end with. You've got a nice vacuum packed steak. You can actually go ahead and take this, set it in the fridge for overnight if you would like, or just go ahead and pop it in. So what we've got now is our steak, and I'm ready to put it into a controlled water bath that is called a sous vide. Basically what it does, it allows you to keep a precise temperature bath of water at the temperature that you'd like. So it's generally accepted that a rare steak is around the 125, 129 degrees Fahrenheit level. What I'm going to do is I'm going to circulate this water at about 115 degrees Fahrenheit. To bring it up to temperature, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to finish it off on the grill. So I go ahead and just pop it in, And I'm going to set my timer for about an hour and a half. So after about an hour and a half, we'll see the steak, and it'll be obviously different colored and ready for the grill. I've got about 10 minutes left on my sous vide. I've come outside to get my grill ready. What you can see here is my chimney. This is what I use to get my charcoal red hot relatively quickly. The type of charcoal I use is a hardwood charcoal. This is actual wood, not the briquettes. The reason I use this type of charcoal is because it imparts a smoky flavor onto the steak, and that's what I want. So it's been about an hour and a half, and my steak is looking finished. We can see that it's light brown in color now. Not exactly appetizing, but once we throw it on the grill, it'll come out perfect. So I've got my chimney lit, it's going real well, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer the charcoal onto the grill. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the charcoal onto half of the grill only. This is to allow for the steak to cook well on one side, and if there's any flare-ups, I can put it onto the side with less charcoal. I'll just bring the camera over to take a look. And this is what we come out with. Now all that's left to do is to put the steak on the grill. Earlier I had mentioned that the thickness of the steak is important. The reason for this is because we want to put a nice sear on both sides of the steak without raising the internal temperature of it. With a thicker steak, it's easier to do that. So the steak's cooking up quite nice. I think we're ready for a flip. I prepared a plate and a wire mesh on top. I'm going to set the steak on the wire mesh and let the steak rest. My steak's been resting for about 5 minutes. All the juices have run out, and now I'm ready to put it onto a plate. And here you have it, sous vide steak finished on a grill.